And now from McAllen City Hall, a meeting of the McAllen City Commission.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's City Commission meeting. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Commissioner Rudy Castillo. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We please bow our heads. Dear Lord, I pray that you guide us always in making some tough decisions for this beautiful city. Give us clarity so that we can effectively tackle each part of today's agenda. I also ask for blessings for every person in this room. In Jesus' name, we pray.
Amen. Amen.
And we have two proclamations. First, we have Women's History Month. Commissioner Zamora.
Thank you, Mayor. Can we please have all the young and beautiful young ladies come to the front, please? Thank you. Yeah, we got to be balanced out. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is the City of McAllen Proclamation, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, City of McAllen. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation and city in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social roles in every sphere of the life of the nation, state, and city by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas the City of McAllen is an organization where women flourish and is proud to boast an equal number of women and men in positions of leadership, influence, and decision and policy making as directors within the organization, helping to bring new vision and perspective to the growth and direction of the municipality and, more importantly, the community. And whereas the City of McAllen is also proud to participate in the celebration of the social, economic, cultural, and political movements and achievements of women, because visibility and awareness help drive positive change for women, and as an organization strives to encourage women to share their voice. Now, therefore, I, Joaquin Zamora, City Commissioner for the City of McAllen, by virtue of the authority vested in me, and the Mayor and the Board of Commissioners for the city, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Women's History Month. Congratulations to all. Can I insult you?
Thank you, Commissioner Zamora, and to Mayor and the City Commission, of course, to Mr. Rodriguez for allowing us and encouraging us to host this event now for 7 years. This is more than just about patting ourselves on the back and saying, look at us, we're the women of the City of McAllen. We are truly decision makers for the organization and for our community. And what we use this month for is to host events and activities that encourage all of our female employees to know that there is not a glass ceiling here at the City of McAllen, and they can rise through the ranks as much as their ambition encourages them. We've started with recognizing trailblazers that were within the City of McAllen, and then we looked outside of our organization. And tonight we are honored to have two of our trailblazers with us, one from a previous year, Ms. Veronica Gonzalez from UTRGV, and then of course this year we will be honoring Rose Benavides, who is with South Texas College, chairman of the Board of Trustees. So again, we are just so grateful that our voice is valued and our contributions to this organization are valued here amongst our colleagues, our equal colleagues. And so thank you, and to all the women here, I'm so proud that we're all here together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. And next, we have Rotary International 119th Anniversary, Commissioner Aguirre.
Well, I'm glad we have one woman here. Very good. Well, it's beautiful to have a service community, a service organization have this proclamation. Service organizations are extremely important to every community. I will tell you this, if it wasn't for a service community called the McAllen JCs that allowed me to flourish, to get to work with other fellow young businessmen and residents, I don't think that I would be here today. It allows being in this type of organization, it allows you to know what's going on in your community and be a part of what is needed in your community to flourish. And it's very important. All these service communities are very, very important to our growth, individual growth in being able to not only in yourself, your community, but also your lives. This proclamation is the state of Texas, County of Hidalgo, City of McAllen. Whereas the Rotary Club of McAllen, Texas, was founded in 1920 and is celebrating 104 years of service to this community and the world. Whereas Rotary International is a worldwide service organization founded in February 23 in 1905 with a membership of 1.4 million professionals and business leaders in 46,000 clubs around the world and grouped into 529 districts. And whereas the Rotary motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian services, encourage high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace to the world. And whereas Rotary International's vision statement is, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And whereas the Rotary Club of McAllen is engaged in community-based projects such as scholarships and helping out other organizations such as the Salvation Army and Make-A-Wish, and address challenges at the local and international levels. And whereas the Rotary Club of McAllen is committed to promote peace in our community, our schools, and our families. Now therefore, I, Tony Aguirre Jr., City Commissioner of the City of McAllen, and by virtue of the authority vested in me and on behalf of the Mayor and the Commission, do hereby proclaim February 23rd, 2024 as Rotary International 119th anniversary.
It is, as a club president for the McAllen Rotary Club of 2023-24, it is a great honor to be here before you. Today, I am representing our current members, but also representing 104 years of men and women that have selflessly served this community. And so it is with great honor that we're here today. Thank you so much, Commissioner. And we're out and about, and we invite everyone that is looking to participate and serve our community to get involved. Thank you.
All right, next we're going to skip to item 6C, presentation by Ms. Salazar.
Quick transition. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez and the City Commission. Kelly Salazar here to present the delinquent tax report for the period of October 1st through January 31st, 2024. As always, our delinquent tax collection program focuses on two basic premises. The first is to collect from the individual taxpayer first, and secondly, use the tool of litigation only as a final option to collect. During this reporting period, we conducted activities such as mailed 3 different demand mailings, mailing over 3,200 statements, made over 1,000 and received over totaling calls of 1,000, and 12 on-site knocking on doors of folks in this community. We filed 58 lawsuits, taken 25, and we have 390 suits currently pending, including the city of McAllen, with delinquent taxes owed to them. We regularly conduct tax sales. We have sold 3 properties, none of them are which are occupied homestead properties. Looking at first quarter collection highlights, our collections are up compared to the previous first quarter. We've collected over $641,000 in base taxes, over $171 in penalties and interest, for total collections of over $112,000 in base penalty interest for the city of McAllen. We look forward to continuing this collection program into the second quarter and beyond. Be happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Questions?
Kelly, a quick question. You pointed to the first quarter collection, $641,000. It's first quarter collection, so it would be October 2023 through December 2023. I think the graph says October.
You are right. You are right. Yes.
Okay.
That's a clerical error. I
just
apologize.
wanted to make sure it was October through December, first quarter.
Yes.
Sounds good. That was the only thing.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Have a good evening.
Okay. Now we have item 1A, public hearings.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Tonight, we have 6 items listed under routine. They're all conditional use permits. As always, they come with favorable recommendations from Planning and Zoning Commission and receive no opposition. They can be approved in one motion or discussed separately as desired. They are conditional use permit for 1 year for a smoke shop at 821 North 23rd Street, Suite 160. A renewal of a conditional use permit for a vape shop at 1406 North 24th, Suite 190. A new conditional use permit for 1 year for a vape shop at 1424 Beaumont Avenue, Suite B. A renewal for a conditional use permit for a vape shop at 2200 Trenton Road, Suite 2A. A renewal for a bar, this is Elephant Cigar Bar at 2801 Expressway 83. And a renewal conditional use permit for 1 year for a vape shop at 4000 North 10th, Suite 38.
Okay. Anybody here to speak against any of the items?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item B.
Yes, sir, this is a rezoning from C3L to C3 at 4400 South Ware Road. This property is located on the west side of South Ware Road across the intersection with Gloria Avenue. Adjacent zoning is C3 to the north, C3 out to the west, and R1 to the east and south. Surrounding uses include a food truck park, gas station, as well as single-family homes and vacant land. The applicant is requesting C3 to apply for a food truck park like the one to the north. A previous rezoning attempt to C3 was disapproved in 2006, and instead of that, they approved the C3L. The trend in the area is commercial to the west and residential on the east side of Ware. Staff did receive multiple calls in opposition, citing noise and traffic concerns. The item was presented at the January 24th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, where one neighbor showed up, the neighbor to the north, speaking in opposition, citing noise and traffic. After some discussion, P&Z recommended approval. This afternoon, we did receive a petition that has been handed out, should be before y'all. Because we received it this afternoon, about 2:30, 3 o'clock, we weren't able to run any math on it, so I can't tell you if it meets the supermajority triggers. And I believe the person who brought the petition is also here today.
Ike, what do we do in that situation?
It needs to be a verified petition, so I would
Move
not
to
elect.
table.
I'm sorry?
So we act or table or?
Table to verify?
Well, that's your call if you want to table.
I mean, that's a
It
fair and
is.
square.
I guess it is up to the commission. Right now, it has
It's
not
fair
been
and square to table
verified.
it to check on the
Make a
petition.
motion to table said item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 2.
Next item is an initial zoning to C3 at 6801 South 10th Street. This property is located along the east side of South 10th, approximately 1,860 feet south of Military Highway. It is currently in our ETJ. The adjacent zoning is I-1 to the north and west, AO to the east and south. Surrounding uses include vacant land, single-family homes, and some industrial. This rezoning, rather, is a part of a development agreement signed and executed November of 2017. Said development had certain triggers which would cause the property to be voluntarily annexed. The item was presented at the January 24th Plan and Zoning Commission meeting, where the owner spoke in opposition, citing he did not want to be annexed. After some discussion, P&Z unanimously recommended approval of the rezoning.
Okay, anybody here to speak against the item? No?
Mayor, just a point of order. I understand this is a rezoning, but isn't this also part of the an annexation proposal?
Correct, that is item D.
Are we kind of putting the cart before the horse? doing this?
That's the way we've always ordered it, but I mean, we can certainly take action on the annexation first. It's not a problem.
City Attorney, is there any problem the way we're proceeding now? Okay,
If we can proceed in the order, then it's on the agenda.
very well.
Move to approve the rezoning.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries. Next item.
This item is a rezoning from C3 to R3T at 7709 North 23rd Street. This property is located along the west side of North 23rd, approximately 361 feet south of Sinai Avenue. Property measures approximately 3.58 acres. Adjacent zoning is R1 all around. Surrounding uses are largely residential with commercial there on the corner of 23rd and Auburn. The applicant is requesting R3T for a townhome development. As of today, no proposal has been submitted. The development trend along this area is primarily single-family homes. The item was presented at the February 20th Plan and Zoning Commission meeting, where one neighbor appeared in opposition, citing property values, building height, and the concerns with the site plan. After some discussion, P&Z unanimously recommended approval. Since then, we have received a petition by various neighbors in opposition. We were able to calculate that one. It has triggered supermajority of the whole commission, and I believe the person who brought a letter, which we also passed out, is here today.
Okay, anybody speak against the item?
Afternoon. I was at the meeting on Tuesday. I was able to get a petition for a majority of the people. I also wrote a letter. I don't know if I'd be able to make it today. So were you guys able to get my letter?
Yes.
Okay, well then there's really no need for me to read off of it. But basically, I got a vast majority of the people that boarded the property. So I just wanted to present myself along with another neighbor came by, was able to come by. So we are not looking for this to be rezoned.
Okay, anybody else?
Well, yeah, I had some questions.
Yeah.
Maybe, the letter didn't really state it. Is it just the density, maybe traffic concerns? Because right now it's, I guess, it appears to be like a maintenance garage or something.
You mean the commercial
The
property?
property to be rezoned.
Oh, well, they're rezoning the whole 3 acres.
The whole 3 acres.
The
yeah,
whole
from-
3 acres
from
are looking to be
frontage back.
rezoned, and right now, it's the Greg's Automotive, which was an automotive shop, and so they're looking not to build any type of commercial, but they're looking to rezone it for multifamily townhomes.
Yes.
And I'm not looking forward to have that behind my fence when the entire subdivision, both phases are single-family. And there's a lot of people who actually signed the petition stating that they don't want multifamily townhomes, especially if it's going to be 2-story looking down. So that's one of the reasons why we're bringing it to the attention that we would prefer this to stay single-family.
It's not currently single family,
Well,
though, is it?
I guess that's one of the issues. What can they build right now if they want to?
Just the commercial enterprises, sir.
Which means,
Which means a garage, a bar if they get a conditional use permit, restaurants, an office building, yeah.
and I guess that's
I guess
one
that
of
would
the
be a
issues,
concern.
one of the problems.
They could build a 4-story, 5-story office building. That might be more intrusive, wouldn't it?
Well, I would prefer nothing to be there, okay? But of course, McAllen needs to grow, I understand that, but I wanted to come and petition it either way.
Sure.
Understood.
So,
But I guess that's one of the biggest concerns. Right now, the way it is, they can go do buildings, commercial, restaurants, bars,
well then,
whatever.
why, I wish that they would have come and said, we want to change this from commercial to single family, then you wouldn't have seen me today.
Yeah, of course.
So the issue is, what prompted you is the fact that they're rezoning. You probably would not prefer to C3, but this is obviously an opportunity to voice your concern about the rezoning in the fact that you would like to see single family.
I would prefer, I'm definitely not against a single family by any
Right.
means, you know? I mean, I live, our whole subdivision, Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Sherwood and Nottingham Estates is all single family. So we're looking for that to continue to be the same.
And I
So,
see-
I mean, if they would have sent a letter, instead of saying commercial, rezoning from commercial to single family, like I said, you wouldn't see me up here.
But it is commercial right now, that's.
Yes, it is commercial, yeah.
C3, actually.
Okay, but you understand that if this board were to approve the request to rezone to townhomes, it's a less burdensome, it's a less egregious use of the property. You understand?
Right.
It's not as, but I understand that,
I-
that's been one garage
Right.
on the frontage, everything in the back has been vacant, right?
Of course, I don't see someone coming in and building a 6-story commercial building within that skinny strip of 3 acres.
Right.
Correct.
You know,
And so-
it doesn't sit well for a commercial business to do that.
Right.
But I can see it could sit very well, which was built right down the street on 23rd Street, is a single road cul-de-sac
A
with
Colgate
homes
Crossing.
built all the way around, just up North 23rd on that slight little curve.
On the
They
same-
built that about 2-3 years ago. Those lots sold out within 6 months, and the area is beautiful.
Okay, what are the wishes? And I guess the main concern is the property's not ours. We're
Right.
not the ones petitioning, and people have their own rights to do whatever they can
course.
within the limits, within the boundaries of the law, and right now it is commercial.
Right.
So, commission?
Mayor, just to kind of promulgate a little bit more discussion, you know, I'm very familiar with this area. In that garage has been there for at least 35, 40 years. I'm born and raised in McAllen, so I'm very familiar with 23rd Street. And Greg, actually, the owner, for the very first time around. What does concern me is, even though going from a C3 to a lesser or less intense use like townhome, it would create a lot more traffic. That particular lot is less than a quarter of a mile from a major intersection with Auburn and 23rd Street. Around the 7 o'clock, 7:30 hour, that gets backed up with traffic either going out or going southbound. I can see that one exit for egress and ingress could create a lot of traffic problems, especially if they're making a left heading northbound. And I know that's kind of going a little bit beyond the zoning issue today, but if we're looking at the generation of traffic, also our scheme in our city is to try to put all the commercial in the nodes where you have major intersection and create commercial nodes. I think while this would be a less intense use, everything else around that property is in fact single family. For those concerns, and obviously for the character of the neighborhood, you know, this board is very, very concerned about the character of the neighborhood, especially in areas that have already been developed, that have been in existence for quite a number of decades. I'm very familiar with Sherwood. That neighborhood's been around for at least 30 years, maybe even 35 years. You know, for those reasons, I would make a motion to deny the request for rezoning.
Thank you.
Could I, okay, you have a motion on the floor, but is there, well, you need to say if there's a.
Oh, anybody
another-
else?
Can I speak in favor?
Yes.
Just Mayor, you haven't called for it. Robert Lemez, Milton and Hunt, 105 West McIntyre, Denver, Texas. I understand the gentleman's concern. I understand the commission's concern. I think one clarification to point out is nobody's looking to do multifamily here. While it is townhomes, they're going to be single-family townhomes. Nobody's looking to do townhome families. And I know to date, you guys haven't seen a layout for the subdivision because we're not quite there yet. But I do have a layout. If you guys would like to see one, I can show one to the gentleman as well. We're looking at doing 28 lots, not looking to get any variances to meet all requirements for single-family townhome lots. We're not looking to do any multifamily here. And, you know, we can go over numbers if we want to do for traffic counts, for current commercial and single-family. You know, as you mentioned, we can do a hotel here. I don't know if this is ideal location for a hotel, but we could do a 7-story hotel and still be in compliance. We can do a lot of other things here too, but that's not the intention of our client, who doesn't want to just do townhomes here.
Okay, and that's why I wanted him to explain. As our planning director, you know, there is such a thing as a PUD in which will put exactly what you're planning to build, and then have the neighborhood look at what exactly you're planning to build. Okay, and then because, you know, if it just goes to multi, zoning, then you can change your mind, you can do something else. But if you put it into especially 3.5 acres, okay, you can only do so much with it. If you tell the neighborhood exactly what you're doing and come to this board or the planning and zoning with a PUD, in which this is the only thing that you can build, I think you might look at it that it's not going to be 2-story, or it is, or whatever it is, but you know what you're going to get.
Sure, I understand that request, and we're more than willing to comply. I'd rather table that to do that as opposed to getting a denial today, but
Okay.
I think our client might also look at doing a commercial development there as opposed to doing townhomes.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this is very,
So
it's very
that's-
unique. Usually we have opposition that opposes residential going to a commercial use. Very rarely, I don't know if I've seen a commercial use
Right.
being opposed going down to a residential use, right? So there's some apprehension because that allows us to some extent to protect it. When I looked at the map of the surrounding area, it is primarily single-family residential, but even moving down to R3T to me would significantly protect the area, depending on whether these plans work out or not. But we're really just looking at a rezoning again, right? So we have to make sure to be careful how much we want to tread into the specifics of the project.
Sure.
That would have to go through the subdivision process.
All right, and I don't know the exact numbers. As I mentioned, we're doing 28 lots. We're proposing 28 lots right now for townhomes. Had we done single-family homes, I think that would have brought the lots down to maybe 23, but I don't know that exact number. I didn't calculate that. So just for reference between the two.
R3T wouldn't also allow for large-scale apartment complex, right? No.
No.
For the benefit of the public and for the commissions, I do want to make it clear that a townhome is a single-family home. It's just a lot smaller lot. These aren't apartments. These aren't condos. It's literally a single-family home with a 20 to 30 foot wide lot.
And I think 2-story townhomes, even if that's the proposed case, I mean, it could be a single-family residence of 2-story homes. The sight line is generally the same.
Correct. So 25 feet is the maximum height for any residential property in McAllen, whether it's a single-family home, R3T, R3A, duplex, triplex, quadplex. So right now, that whole subdivision, Sherwood Face, can already go up to 2 stories.
Just want to clarify one thing.
Sure.
And just for reference, our lots are proposed to be 40 feet wide at minimum.
They're 40 feet?
In this location, yes. Well, let me pass this out so you guys can see. If that's okay with you guys.
Again, if you propose it,
Sure. We're willing to do that if we need to.
so it doesn't change. Yeah.
Maybe they want to see it.
Show it to them.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I got it memorized.
And I'm glad that they may be willing to do that. Commissioner, I just hate to impose our own will on property owners. And that's kind of difficult when we have a C3 to something that should be very easy and routine in a sense.
Agreed.
And that's what, I don't think, it's their investment, it's their property. And I also understand, the community is always going to complain about noise, no matter what. The community is always going to say there's going to be an increase in traffic. Well, no matter what we build, there's going to be an increase in traffic. So we got to really think about, we understand we want to appease the community all the time, but we also have to let our residents, our community grow and, I guess, enjoy their property, their investment. So.
And Mayor, I don't disagree with it, because I've advocated for prior rezoning on similar issues. The only thing I could differentiate is in this case, everything around this particular lot is in fact developed. And it's contrary to the other zoning that we had about a city commission meeting ago where it wasn't. And so that's where, the lots in that particular situation from the meeting ago were oversized lots. There were the larger homes, 1 acre, 3 acre, 3 acre lots. These are regular 50 or 52 foot wide lots. They're all developed. The neighborhood is completely surrounded, this particular lot. And while I do agree, every property owner in the city and every state, the country, has a bundle of sticks to develop and improve their property any way they wish, as long as it complies with city ordinances and state statutes, right? But I also have to look, in particular, because I am the commissioner for this area, this district, at least in this part of the district, it's strongly single-family home. The other concern that I bring forth too is the amount of traffic. You're going to have it, let's say if it's single family, it's only 20 houses, 20 rooftops. You're going to add maybe 2 houses per rooftop, that's 40 cars. You add this amount, you're adding maybe 28, right?
So the current, the way we have it laid out now, with the townhomes, the peak morning would be 29 vehicles. The peak PM would be 34. For a weekday traffic of 333 vehicles. In the current zoning that it is now, if it'd be developed into a fast type restaurant, maybe like a Texas Roadhouse type restaurant, you'd have 164 cars in the morning and 196 in the PM peak, which would be 1,286 cars weekdays, which is Monday through Thursday. So it's a reduction of like 70% cars if it would be fully developed as commercial versus the townhome.
And that's the issue. If I'm the owner, you know what? I'll put a cantina there. I'll put something else, and we'd be in compliance with the city.
Be in compliance. Because it is zoned commercial.
Yeah, it is
Correct,
zoned
because that's what it's
C3.
zoned. And that's the issue I have with this one.
Do you have any more questions?
But anyway, there's a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
What is the motion?
To deny the
Deny.
applicant.
Do I hear a second? Motion fails for a second. Do I hear another motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh,
Requires 6 votes, Mayor, so you need to vote on this one.
4. Motion carries.
But look at the layout.
Okay.
Amending the zoning ordinance.
Need a motion to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of McAllen.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item D.
This is a public hearing and annexation for 6801 South 10th Street. This is the property that we just rezoned to
Second.
C3. Thank you.
Is this a public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there anybody to
bad.
speak on the item? If not, I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. I love my commission. Consent agenda items A through M. Do we need to pull anything out?
Move to approve 2A, 2M.
Do I hear a second?
Commissioner Castillo seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item
3A
three.
is award of contract for the purchase of 2 current model herbicide trucks.
Okay, and this is hopefully to assist with McAllen Chines type of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Good, excellent. As a matter of fact, today we did a presentation on Wilson Elementary with Keep McAllen Beautiful. We missed Miss Alonso because she was somewhere else, but we're going to hitting the schools talking about that, Keep McAllen Beautiful, McAllen Giants.
Yes, sir. I apologize for not being there. We were in
No, no
another
problem.
meeting. So this agenda is seeking approval for the purchase of 2 herbicide trucks. We received 3 bids. The lowest bidder is Chemical Solutions LLC out of Lake Wales, Florida, in the amount of $315,765.54. However, they failed to submit a bid bond. Therefore, we're asking for approval of a waiver of this technicality. This award is over budget by $15,765.54 and subject to a budget reclassification. Staff recommends approval.
Any issues with that, Ike?
No, sir.
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. Item
Thank
B.
B is consideration approval, change order number 1 for fire station number 8.
There we go.
Mayor and Commission, change order number 1 consists of additional work encompass for the adjustment of a primary electrical conduit to an existing Magic Valley box. The design team during the design and the contractor coordinated during construction with Magic Valley for the availability of this pull box. Upon excavation, Magic Valley verified that the pull box was at full capacity and could not accept another conduit. Magic Valley informed the contractor and the design team that the Magic Valley computer system wasn't updated to reflect that the pull box was at full capacity. Therefore, the conduit will need to be rerouted to an alternate pull box. The engineer and city staff recommend approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $10,792 and 14 calendar days to bring this, which brings the revised contract amount to a total of $4,633,292 for the contract time of 434 calendar days. And we open it up for any questions.
I'll be abstaining from this item.
Had it already been sent, I guess, ran over there? Or is it,
So they
dug? And-
So when they called, and they're verified with the system, the design team, and then the contractor verified that prior. They told them that there was capacity. They were looking at their computer system.
Yeah.
And so they did excavate, they did do that work, so we didn't get the credit. And so what this is, we're gonna have to retrench to another area, and that's how the result of this change order came about.
14 days? On additional, or?
That's the request. It may do with the electrical system. I didn't ask staff on the 14 days. What I concentrated mainly, what I was worried about was why we had to pay that
the
cost
amount.
and make sure that
That's right.
there was justification to that cost. That's why the agenda item's a little lengthy on why we had that change order request.
Do it.
Anything electrical is very hard to predict right now.
I can tell you, if you want to approve the dollar amount and we waive the 14 days, I can work with a contractor and bring that at the end
Yeah.
of the contract. If they need them, we can bring it at that time, if that's a motion.
I mean, I don't know how long it takes. I'm not the best person to ask. I don't know how long it takes to excavate and run, but 14 days seems like a lengthy amount of time to add to a contract period. When you think it could be done kind of in line with the rest of the work being done, I'm not sure if it's.
I can always bring that retroactively.
Unless
and
they
I
have
can
to
work-
identify different stuff again and everything, but.
Yeah, but.
Okay, so you all want
Office
to approve it,
time, yeah.
approve the first part, the money
I have a
amount?
question.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, I'm not an engineer. What is a pull box?
It's basically the box where they run all the electrical systems. Sometimes if you look in the back of houses, there's like a big green box.
The big green
Oh,
ones.
the big green box.
They call it a pull box, 'cause that's where they pull the cables from,
Ah.
as they're running it.
Now they're putting
So you're
the-
telling me that there's no more room to be able to do that?
to the box they went to.
Oh.
They excavated to a box.
And then
The
nobody
mag-
bothered to check the box, it was?
No, Magic Valley System said there was capacity.
Oh.
Then
I
Magic
see.
Valley said our
So
system
what-
doesn't work well,
Okay.
basically.
So now we have to create our own pull box?
No, we have
No,
to excavate
there's
to
an
another
alternate,
pull box.
so they have to transfer an alternate location for that, which is
Oh.
additional work.
Got it. And we couldn't have known that before?
Well, and every, the thing here, everything is subbed.
It was fine.
They don't do it themselves. They hire subs. So you're at the mercy of the subs, to
So
have
we-
time.
Yeah, so we checked it, so the design team checked it, and then the contractor checked it with Magic Valley. That's, I mean, they're the source that we have to go to and rely on them. They gave them information that was not correct, and they proceeded with that as the best information. When they got there, now Magic Valley could get in there, that's when they told them, we're over,
Well, it happens.
we're not allowed to.
But they told you twice that it was okay. Two
And
times.
so what they do is they verify through a computer system, and that was not okay.
Nobody bothered to make a visual inspection.
That's how they verify for us.
Got it.
They're gonna rely on Magic Valley.
Welcome to development. That's what happens.
Just asking.
No, I know. I made sure when we sat down with staff and went through
God
this.
forbid
so-
we do the obvious, but never mind.
Commissioner Haddad, you were concerned with the 14 days?
The thing is, I'm not an engineer. GC, it just seems long to me to just excavate. It's not excavate to another pool box, I guess.
Well, I guess we
It
can
sounded
revisit
length-
it at a later time.
It
If I
sounded
can-
lengthy to me, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it.
If I can if I can have a motion to approve the amount minus that, we can take a look at it later on.
That's fine.
Yeah, if you
Motion
need-
approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item C.
C is consideration approval of contract amendment number 4 for Quinta Mazatlan.
No, everybody had.
So this item is a consideration authorization of a contract amendment number 4 to the design team, for the design team Megamorphosis to provide additional service to Quinta Mazatlan Pump House. We had approved a GMP for a roof deck where we had a savings of $659. That alternate that we took in involves a change in the specified Risca decking and to an architectural tile paver. There's a structural component that needs to be redesigned. Staff recommends approval of the contract number 4 to Megamorphosis for additional structural services in the amount of $7,935. The total savings for the roof deck, if approved, would now be $342,724. There are sufficient funds in the design team's contract to cover the additional services, and we open it up for any questions.
Is that 10% buffer thing?
No, we knew along when we were working with Spall Glass that there was going to be a redesign, but at the speed we were moving on that, we didn't have time to coordinate with the architect. We had advised the architect that there was going to be design. We expected a small fee. We think this is a reasonable fee. We went back and forth with them to reduce that as low as we could, and work through that savings for the risk decking.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries.
D is consideration approval of change, contract amendment number 2 for Cruz Hogan, additional services.
So amendment number 2 expands the scope of the current contract to include the design and preparation of construction documents for a pedestrian tunnel crossing the McAllen lateral drainage channel at North Second Street. The improvement would allow safe and uninterrupted movement along the adjacent proposed hike and bike trail and complement the future pedestrian crossing under North 10th, previously approved with amendment number 1. This item was previously presented to the City Commission at a workshop. Staff recommends approval of contract number 2 with Cruz Hogan Consultants in the total amount of $107,564 for a revised contract amount of $345,989 with 80 cents, and we open it up for any questions.
Just so I'm clear, this is to create the design for the pedestrian tunnel that's going to go underneath?
Under Second Street.
Under Second Street.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
E is consideration and approval of amendment number 1 to the operating agreement with Aerolitoral S.A., known as Aeromexico.
Mayor, Commission, good evening. Staff recommends approval of the lease amendment for this lease with Aeromexico Connect.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
4A is consideration of request to designate a no parking zone on M Street and Primrose.
Mayor and Commission, Traffic Operations Department received a request from Code Enforcement in assistance with no parking at the Agoa Business Park. Based on the study conducted by the Traffic Department, they found that 18-wheeler traffic was parking predominantly on M Street. The parking of these vehicles provided a one-way traffic scenario since trailers were parked on both sides of the roadway and only one vehicle was able to get through. The Traffic Department then presented the item on October 19, 2003 to Traffic Commission, at which the board recommended option C since it is allowed to help address site obstructions that may arise at an existing driveway established businesses. I think that's going to be a type of option B. This item has a favorable recommendation from the Traffic Commission. Based on the investigation performed by city staff, it is recommended that the no parking designation for option B be selected so to make the street safer for the traveling public, and we open it up for any questions. We provided pictures in the back to show kind of the scenario that we were dealing with, and then if you have any questions.
What's drawing all those tractor trailers to that area?
You know, it's kind of unique. I don't know how this happens, but we had the same problem at Target by the Boys and Girls Club on 34th.
And you realize that street is also called Primrose?
I don't know how they find these streets that don't have designations and they can park without, they'll get 72 hours.
Yep.
So code enforcement will go and tag it, and within 72 hours, they've gone, done their thing, and they'll leave.
Right.
So that cab will not get ticketed. And they found another area in town, you know, and they take advantage a little bit, and we have to come in and kind of clean those areas up.
So
we
that
work
parking
closely with
isn't
code
tied to a
enforcement.
nearby business or anything?
Come again, I didn't hear that, Commissioner.
The parking of these trucks isn't tied to any kind of nearby business that's going to be affected?
Not that we can find there, because it's not an industrial area. It's kind of like 34th Street. There's not a business we could tie that to. They just find these areas. Sometimes they even start doing tire work and minor maintenance to the fifth wheels. And so it becomes a problem not only for traffic, it just in general with junk and mess.
Yeah, because some years ago, just pretty soon after I got on board, behind Target, and just by coincidence, also on Primrose, between 34th Street and 37th, you would see them parked out there, or they'd be running, if it's a refrigerator truck, they leave it running out there. They'll be changing tires, they'll be doing oil changes, and of course, if they don't do it right, or it's leaking oil, it's gonna start, eroding into the pavement, and, it's horrible, right? In addition to the safety issue, as people traverse or go through that street, so. I think option B is great.
Motion to approve motion B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
B is an item for the McAllen Public Utility to amend Chapter 106, Article 4. David, good evening.
Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Rodriguez, for the record, my name is David Garza, Director of the Wastewater System. Texas Commission on Environmental Quality is requiring amending the language of the ordinance section 106-183C to match the language in 40 CFR 403.8F2 which states significant industrial users must be evaluated within 1 year of being designated as a significant industrial user. Staff is recommending, as per TCEQ requirement, to amend the language. What occurred here, we had every 2 years, so TCEQ is asking us to end up putting it as every 1 year.
We have no discretion.
Yeah,
No, we don't.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 5.
Thank you.
5A, consideration of a variance request for a contractual agreement at 7100 Mile 7 Road.
Yes, sir. Grace Haven subdivision is a proposed one-lot residential subdivision totaling just over half an acre. It is located on the north side of Mile 7 Road, approximately 1,300 feet east of North Stewart. Project engineer, on behalf of the owners, is requesting a contractual agreement in lieu of construction or escrowing for the required sidewalk. Basis for that is that there are no sidewalks around there. Development team reviewed the request and no objections were raised. It was presented at the February 6th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting where it was unanimously recommended. 3 options before you. We are recommending option 1, which is approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
5B is consideration of a variance to number 1, right-of-way dedication, and number 2, right-of-way dedication requirement on the north side of future Primrose at 4201 North Benson.
Yes, sir. So the McAllen Public Works subdivision is a proposed one-lot subdivision on northwest corner of Benson and Nolana. The property houses Public Works Department as well as the recycling center. The applicant is requesting a variance to dedication for 48th and Primrose. Basis for those is that on 48th, there is an active irrigation line, and on the west side of the property, so 48th is just not feasible. And the north Primrose is currently used by Public Works for daily operations, so a street would impact those operations. Again, development team reviewed it, no objections. It was presented at the February 6th Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, recommending approval. That is option 1.
Questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
6A is immigration report.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, immigrant drop-off numbers from CBP and ICE have averaged 169 per day for the last 2 weeks, which is very close to the number that it's been for the last 6 weeks. Our COVID positivity rate is 2.4%. The average over 6 weeks has been 2.6, so again, very close to what we have seen for the last month and a half. Anzalduas Park currently has a capacity for 700, and our population is under 100. We can increase that capacity rapidly if necessary. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
So we're doing good compared to Eagle Pass and everywhere else.
Correct. Other parts of the country are seeing larger numbers. We are nationally seeing lower numbers, which is historical. Over the last 4 years, we've seen this. We do expect numbers to increase over the next 3 to 4 months. So.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
6B is presentation of year-to-date tax collection.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Commission. Before you, please find the year-to-date collection report from October the 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2024. This year, we began with a beginning balance of $62,158,794.08. There was modifications from the appraisal district that added up to $816,816.55, bringing our adjusted levy to $62,975,110.63. Our year-to-date base collected amount was $53,181,995.08, leaving a receivable balance of $9,798,115.55, bringing our year-to-date collection rate to 84.45%. And that is an increase compared to last year's collection rate of 82.62 for the same time period. Towards the middle of the report, you'll see a breakdown by property type, and I'm just breaking it down between beginning balance modifications and base collected. So briefly, the real estate, we have collected 86.11%. In personal property, we've collected 71.37%. For mobile homes, 62.06%, and minerals, 80.35%. At the bottom of the report, you'll see additional fees that we collected, and that's late rendition penalties for the amount of $46,532.77. Penalty and interest, $171,158.12. Attorney fees we collect on behalf of Linebarger, $99,723.41. And tax certificates, $330. Return checks, $100. In rollback taxes, we've collected $74,063.53. And we also collect for the Public Improvement District for Tres Lagos, and it's been $593,779.35 for this time period. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions?
We usually end at about what, 97%?
About 97%, yes.
And that's usually by what, when do you know, June?
No, that's September.
All the way by the
Yes.
end of the year?
Yes,
People are still paying?
September 30th.
Um,
But I'll be reporting again in June.
Quarterly?
Yeah,
basically?
well, it's not quarterly because I'm not able to report in January, so that's why I kind of extended to 4 months. So it's a year-to-date report on my end.
This might not be a question for you, but do we get a report on the TERS, of what and how, they evolve and what we're
Well, they're
collecting?
required to be here yearly. They do have a TERS report every year on every TERS that we have. And then as far as collections, Becky and Finance keep track of it.
Yes. So I can run a report for TERS 1 or TERS 2.
Really?
And I report that to you. Usually, Finance is the one that requests that report.
Uh-huh.
And, but I'm able to run it through my software because, we're the ones that
No, I
collect that.
mean, your next report in 3 months, I think you said, right?
It'll be in another 4 months, yeah.
In June? Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I'm just curious on.
As far as
Yes.
percentage-wise, as far as
Yeah.
dollars? Okay.
Delinquency.
And if there is
Who
any
hasn't paid us?
delinquencies.
Only one party.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Future agenda items.
Oh, I've got one. We heard from UTRGV, a group out there. A few of us commissioners were there. They presented on a finding, I guess, a project that they worked on over by 23rd Street, where the Housing Authority has their facility, and so they came up with some, I guess, issues that they've brought up, walkability being one of them, and I'd like for them to be able to present during a workshop, just a small little presentation about what they came up with and what they found, if the board's okay with that presentation.
Good to know.
Yeah. Anything else?
Can you give me their contact?
Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay.
Okay. That's it. It's executive session items.
Yes, sir, Mayor. With respect to item 7A, I recommend the Commission consider a motion authorizing the city manager and city attorney to communicate with the school district consistent with the manner described in executive session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next
Mayor,
item.
with respect to item 7B1, I recommend the City Commission consider a motion authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate the economic development incentives to include 20% of sale tax rebate for 5 years in an amount up to $2 million, and property tax rebate at at the amount described in executive session.
I'll be abstaining from that item.
So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to item 7B2, that was provided to the commission for an update information purposes, as is with items 7C and D.
Okay. Is that all we have?
Yes, sir.
There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Regular City Commission meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Meetings are rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on the McAllen Cable Network.